A small medicine bundle. As dusk fell, a tall boy unwrapped a small doeskin bundle, feeling sure of his privacy among the cottonwoods by the stream at this time of day. Idly he handled its contents to hold the blue-green stone in his hand, the shape of which held no significance, the color which could only partially remind him of the glowing richness of the woman's eyes. There was a bunch of dried buffalo grass, almost the tint of her hair. Adding a kangi, a crow's feather, to the bundle, he rewrapped it and tucked it away. The everywhere bird, as the owl had named it, and in truth he saw it everywhere, was a constant reminder of his quest. He had to ask himself, for Spotted Owl hadn't provided a satisfactory answer. Had his request been answered? He had expected so much and was disappointed with how little appreciation he could muster for what had been revealed of the great mystery, of the presence of a spirit world he had never doubted, the great unseen, but he was still burdened with knowing his place in the world. Who was he really? At least a hint of his birth name. So much was shrouded in unknowing. He had hoped to have his origins explained, his perfect purpose revealed, his guiding spirit identified. Spotted Owl did not answer much, but only reassured him that much portent resided in what he had been shown, that he must wait with great patience for further revelations. He had not been told to do anything, nor refrained from anything, nor to treat any particular animal with reverence. Then there was that chunk of strange flesh dropped right at his feet by the kangi. Yes, 3 kinds of bird had shown themselves, but not the great eagle that he had hoped for, that he had felt a strong affinity for. He had been told that so strong a sign of the winged beings indicated that his path would involve traveling between both things of heaven and of earth. Yet it did not seem that he was being led onto the path of a Pejuta Wikasa, as Spotted Owl was. If he was not being called to use the medicine of growing things, it did not seem that he was being called to be a warrior of any special repute either. Patience was called for, but what naturally occurred in the life of one of so few winners, his thoughts were already back with the pony herd. He meant to lay aside this search for hidden meanings, but occasionally he found his present-day world being pierced by the resonant caw of a solitary crow, drawing his attention up to where it had perched, head cocked, eyeing him with great interest. Was this his spirit helper come to? To what? Mock him, perhaps. But his solitary nature began to assert itself in pondering on the great mysteries that his mentor the owl patiently taught him. In those long and beautiful nights spent under the northern skies guarding the herds, he thought much on Wakantanka, who in his greatness first created himself, then all of the great mysteries of life. How was this young man burned to know of them? The sun above, the elegant, changeable, ever-renewing moon that graced his night, the rivers that flowed like veins upon the earth on which all people trod, right down to the creation of Hanwi, the moon, and that great orb, the sun, without which all life would wither and die. It was all too much for this young man. He was never without, not one or two, indeed, many questions to bring to the owl's lodge. He tried so hard to remember all the great and mysterious manifestations of the Creator. He had so much to learn if he was to follow in the path of a Wikasa Wakan, a spiritual man. Placing his hands on his little bundle, he prayed to Takuskanskan, the spirit that moves every living thing, to lead him on his path just as he caused the first breath to enter his body. Above all, he asked for a Waksape Wokita, an awakening to wisdom.